Hi. Welcome to curiosity and all that comes with curiosity. And I want to acknowledge, first of all, that um, humans are wired for non-curiosity. I mean, I'll call it safety, um, like to lock everything down before we get curious. And um, and that's simplifying it. I know we're a lot more complicated than that. This is just an invitation to just be curious about what blocks curiosity, that um, playfulness as well, I think, comes with curiosity, that you feel safe enough to play, to laugh, to look at the world with wide eyes instead of narrowed eyes. And it comes up, I'll call it non-curiosity, this sense of the world sort of becomes smaller, a little darker, a little bit. Our focus becomes more hawk-like, more like, "Ah, I can't believe that person is doing that. Why don't they know what I know? Can't they see?" That kind of is kind of a non-curiosity, I'll call it right now. And I do want to acknowledge that it's a lot of times against the stream, particularly when the culture that I'm in the U.S. right now is just so fear-based. There's so much money generated by fear and non-curiosity, um, non-peace, and I want to take care of that in me before I look at these, people I'm judging as clueless. Don't they see that they're so privileged and blah, blah, blah. However, I judge them, and I do. And I love when I do catch it is to become curious about myself, if I can. So much easier to judge other people. So that's why I say this is against the stream, because everything in our society and our culture and the internet seems to be taking us in the direction of war, starting with an internal war and then projecting out to others. And there is a huge amount of grief around that phenomena that I see. And it's because I care so much. I don't want to push that aside. So breathe into what your own process is with curiosity. And then when you're feeling very non-curious, my definition of non-curious is kind of closed down and preoccupied with a sense of safety. I'll call it that, but it's often, in my world, doesn't have to do with physical safety. It's more of a, I can't believe this person's doing that. That kind of war that I create. So it's very, very, I feel, when I see the war all over the world, there's not war all over the world. There's a couple huge ones right now that the media are focusing on that are incredibly tragic. I do want to bring it back to, and how do I do that? What is my own internal war? What blocks curiosity in me? Where do I feel non-peace, preoccupied with a sense of safety and, I can't believe this person's doing that. They're always like that. I caught myself this morning and I was able to get like, it was like the spiral that I'll speak personally, kind of pulls me down, and then it's like something. I got my partner to say, "Hey, help pull me out of the spiral," and they did. They kind of reached in and they pulled me out. So, if we can do that for ourselves, that's amazing. We're much more likely to be able to be the 100,000 people in white walking into the war zone if we can do that for ourselves. If we can focus on our own propensity to do that, to pull ourselves out of that when we get to when we get to the point where we see ourselves as decidedly not curious, and give ourselves a break. Humans are wired that way. It's we have that negativity bias. There's no doubt about that. I include myself in those humans. That's why I do this. To nurture curiosity, to know that peace around the world begins with me. And it doesn't stop with me. It's just like my breath. I can breathe in care and peace for myself and then look out into the world. How can I support 100,000 people in white walking out to the battlefield saying this is enough? And tears and joy, whatever it is. Breathing in a sense of, I vow to cultivate curiosity, because with that curiosity comes a whole complex of play, wonder, awe, calmness, connectedness. It's a whole complex of openness that comes out into the world, that the world feels. The abundance of that. And we don't have to keep it all for ourselves. It's not about like, okay, I'm going to sit here on the mountain and just cultivate abundance. For me, I mean, I have to speak for myself. It really is about catching myself with care, saying, oh, my dear, of course that comes up for you. Of course it does. You're human. It comes up for everybody, and this is, we see it as the way it's expressed. So I encourage you to keep breathing in that curiosity and wonder, and notice when you're getting, into a spiral of judgy, of everything's bad, this is horrible, and I'm horrible, and I'm not good enough. And give yourself care. It's okay. And help find somebody to help pull you out of it. Offer when you do feel this abundance, just immediately when you breathe it in for yourself, share it with your friends. Breathe in this curiosity and all of that complex of beauty and play that comes with that. Then breathe it out to the neutral people that you will see very soon as you jump into the car with them and drive up to the monastery. Somewhat neutral, somewhat friend. And then breathe in that, like, oh gosh, it just feels so good when I can feel that openness and curiosity. And then breathe it out to people that are harder for us to love, and possibly ask them questions about that thing that stimulates you with curiosity. I like doing that before I share my pain. But we'll see. There is no formula. Everybody has a different style. of breathing in curiosity for themselves and then sharing it with others, particularly ones that trigger us. And there's a big difference. It's like, I'm curious why you're an asshole. That's very, very different than like, wow, so what is it in you that stimulated you doing that? There's something there, I know. And then the whole world. I feel confident in our ability to save the world by saving ourselves. And then stepping out into the world from the energy of the needs without any strategy of how these needs need to be met. Thank you so much.